we'll start again when I start recording now. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're excited to have you today on another edition of HR Mentorship Learning Series. And tonight, the topic we'll be considering is navigating effective client management strategies in HR consulting. Navigating effective client management strategies in human resource consulting. Our facilitator tonight is a first-timer on this platform, and we are excited to receive her. Please show us some warmth and appreciation with various emoticons and emojis in the chat box. Her name is Opeyemi Abdul. She's an Associate Chartered Institute of Personnel Management. She also has the PHRI certification, and she has the Human Resource Practitioner's license from CIPM. I'd like to briefly read about her profile so that we can get to meet her. You may want to move the slides to the next to show the profile. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Opeyemi Abdul, like I mentioned, is an associate member of CIPM, and she has experience in human resources generally, demonstrated experience in customer experience, client relationship management from working with leading financial institutions. She's also experienced in technical and non-technical recruitment, talent management, job sourcing, from working as a recruitment consultant with a startup recruitment agency for over 3 years. She has demonstrated experience in managing client relationships to foster business continuity and provide excellent solutions regarding any business requirements that our clients may have. She currently sits as the HR consultant and client success associate at a leading HR consulting firm. These experiences and exposure over time has shaped her into becoming a focused and adaptable professional. She prides herself in learning new things every day. She's flexible and can adapt to changing situations in the work environment. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's receive once again Opeyemi Abdul. Over to you.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Oluyemi, for that introduction. Thank you. So good evening, everybody. Like Dr. Oluyemi has mentioned, my name is Opeyemi Abdul. I currently sit as the Client Success Associate and HR Consultant for Estrada International Staffing Solutions. And today I'm going to be speaking on navigating effective client success, navigating effective client management strategies in HR consulting. Basically, I'm just going to be discussing the strategies and the way to easily navigate managing clients in an efficient way in the industry, HR. This is just an overview of the presentation that we're going to be talking about in this webinar. So we have the presentation roadmap. I hope you can see my screen. So we're going to be talking about what client management is in human resources. Then we'll talk about what is a client success associate job description. Basically, what is the role of a client success associate in the HR consulting workspace? Then we're also going to be talking about one sec. We're also going to be talking about HR consulting attention areas for client success. We'll talk about effective client management strategies and also internal project drivers and stakeholders for cross-functional collaboration, to effectively drive your role as a client success associate. So just to get into it without wasting our time. So what is client management? Basically, client management is a critical soft skill that involves strategically building, nurturing, and sustaining client relationships to achieve business objectives. This simply means that over time, as a client management associate, you have to develop some skills that would enable you, client management is a strategic role in HR consulting in the sense that you are the B2B client, you are the B2B associate that is representing the consulting, your HR consulting company, and you're also interfacing with the stakeholders of their clients. This is why the client success role is crucial in the HR consulting space. And this is why it is a very important role. So there are some skills, basically there are some soft skills that you should have. You have to have good communication skills, you have to have negotiation skills, you have to be persuasive, you have to have emotional intelligence, you have to have empathy, because you have to be able to understand your client's needs, and you have to be able to collaborate effectively internally and externally, both with your internal stakeholders, the people that you work with, and externally with your client. Client management includes a variety of activities and strategies focused on ensuring client satisfaction and fostering long-term loyalty. So basically, this means that client management as a whole, you should have a lot of activities, a lot of strategies in place, a lot of ways that you ensure that your clients are continuously satisfied. And when your clients are satisfied, they want to continue patronizing you over a period of time. They want to refer other businesses to you. They want to be brand ambassadors of your brand. They want to share the good news and basically remain in business with you. And then you can generate revenue for your organization when you can boost client satisfaction. So client management enables organizations to deliver an exceptional experience throughout the entire client lifecycle, from onboarding to retention. So as a client success associate, you should be able to engage customers exceptionally. Like, you should be able to give exceptional service delivery at every touch point, from onboarding the client to delivering the project to retaining the client, not just for one-time fees, for subsequent subsequent patronage of those clients, the clients patronizing the business and the product and the services that your organization has to offer. It all boils down to how the client success associate handles their engagement with the client. So this is why client management plays a pivotal role, a very important role in driving the success of the HR consulting business. Moving on to the next slide, a client success associate plays an important role in optimizing business processes and fostering strong, engaging relationship with customers. I think I've already shared enough light on that. So their primary focus is enhancing the client experience to boost retention and loyalty, in turn to generate revenue for the organization through repeat businesses and referrals. Like I already mentioned before, when you have when you have the graphs, when you fully understand how essential your role is as a client success associate and the impact that the efficient delivery of your job function has on generating revenue for the organization, then you know how to boost retention and maintain the loyalty of your clients. Because boosting retention and having the loyalty of your clients, that is how you can get repeat businesses and have them refer your business to other people, your product and your services. So this is achievable by intentionally maintaining relationship with these clients and ensuring that their business goals are met through the partnership. What do I mean by ensuring that their business goals are met through the partnership? From the point of onboarding clients, as a client success associate in HR consulting, you want to make sure that you fully understand the vision, the mission, and the goals of your clients. What do they intend to achieve from the partnership that they're having with your organization? It's when you have a full grasp of their goals that you can effectively drive the success of the service that you are giving to them. As a client success associate, You also double as an HR consultant, as HR consulting services alleviate the complexities of talent management. They enable organizations to concentrate on core client services, business operations, project and strategic initiatives. By leveraging on the expertise and fresh perspective of HR professionals and consultants, organizations can implement effective HR strategies that enhance employee satisfaction, that boost productivity, and that drives overall business performance. Client success associates are responsible for managing clients' needs. Yes, we are responsible for managing the client's needs. We serve as an intermediary between the client and the company. That is why I say that client success associates, the basically do B2B. They are in the B2B business. That's business to business. They're representing, they are intermediary between the organization that they are representing and the client. So their primary focus is to maintain and strengthen relationship between the business and its clients by reinforcing client engagement and exceptional customer experiences. They ensure client satisfaction with services or product with a strong emphasis on long-term retention. I lay emphasis on that strong emphasis on long-term retention because it is crucial to be able to retain your clients. It is when you retain your clients that you can generate repeat businesses. That is when you can have referrals. Clients that just require your service as a one-off, that you have not given value in delivering that service, they won't come back and they won't refer other people. That is why it is very important to make sure that you aim to maintain long-term relationship with your clients. So these associates are expected to resolve any issues promptly, ensuring that clients remain satisfied with services provided. Their role also involves identifying and implementing strategies to enhance sales performance and client satisfaction. So like I said, as a client success associate, you are also generating revenue for the organization. How do you generate this revenue? It's usually through repeat businesses and through referrals and maybe cross-selling of other services. Now, how are you able to do this, to generate this revenue? It is when you effectively manage the customers, it is the clients, it is when you make sure that their issues are resolved promptly. You have to be proactive and you have to be able to take initiative. You have to be at your feet all the time. Sometimes you have to think ahead what issues can arise from this partnership. Okay, if we are feeding a recruitment project for a client, what are the issues that may occur? Even when you can't foresee the issues, immediately the issues come up. If you are in constant engagement with the clients and there is no communication gap, you can make sure that they are satisfied with these services by also making sure that you are doing client feedback. That's customer satisfaction. You have to make sure that you are doing at least a customer satisfaction survey to, try to ascertain how well the clients are satisfied with the services. You to have this would enable you to have a feedback on what to do better to improve your services for future clients as well. So additionally, client success associates may train frontline employees to effectively engage with clients, aligning with organizational goals. So HR consulting attention areas for client success. I'm not going to be speaking much on this, but I just wanted to pinpoint the attention areas for client success in HR consulting. So we have recruitment, we have outsourcing, we have background verification, we have learning and development, we have HR technology, we have strategic partnerships, and we have reward programs for loyalty, for loyal clients and referrals. So for recruitment, for most HR consulting organizations, recruitment and outsourcing is usually the cash cow in the industry. And so you want to make sure as a client success associate, that at every touch point in time during the recruitment project for clients, you are constantly engaging them and giving feedback to make sure that both the client and the candidates that you are trying to recruit for them are both informed and still interested in the role to drive the success of the recruitment project or the outsourcing project. For background verification, You want to make sure that when you're filling a background verification need for a client, usually pre-employment checks, there is no loophole in the communication circle, either internally or externally. By internally, I mean with the specialists that you're working with in your own organization, and by externally, I mean the information that goes out to the client in the service delivery of this service. That's the background verification. For I think that also applies to learning and development as well. You want to make sure that you identify the client's training needs so that you're the L&D specialists, so that they can work with us to generate a training calendar and develop training content for the clients and tailor it specifically to their needs so that we're able to, fill a knowledge gap or a skill gap that they may have within their organization. For HR technology, for clients that are patronizing the organization through HR technology, you want to make sure that you are progressively liaising with the technical team in your own organization to fill the needs of your clients. For strategic partnerships, I think the Client Success Associate is also responsible for driving strategic partnership with other organizations, with industry stakeholders, just to push your brand out there. And for clients and referrals, I already spoke on loyal clients, and I already spoke on how loyal clients can become like brand ambassadors for your business, for your product and your services, and bring referrals for you and help you generate revenue for your organization. So for effective client management strategies, I highlighted some strategies for effectively managing clients as a client success associate. One is you have to understand your client's need. Effective client management extends beyond problem solving, right? As client success associates, you want to make sure that you completely understand the need of your client at first, because it is when you have a complete understanding of their business requirements that you're able to prefer solutions to them. So this simply involves proactively fostering strong client relationships, keeping clients informed at every stage of interaction and aligning with their goals as if they were your own. To truly become a partner in your client's success, you must demonstrate genuine interest in their achievements. This responsibility extends beyond the business owner. It is essential for the entire team, the client success team, and all the internal stakeholders to embrace this mindset. So continuously enhancing employees' clients management skills is increasingly important in today's business environment. The second point that I highlighted is establishing clear communication. So in B2B client management, open and honest communication is highly essential. Open and honest in the sense that it has to be clear, it has to be direct. So for communication, we usually say for a communication cycle to be complete, once information is dispersed and the information is received, once the information is dispersed from the speaker, and for the second, the receiver has to efficiently grasp the context of what the speaker is talking about. That is when the communication circle is complete. This is to say that if you are passing information and the receiver hears you, they listen, they can hear that information, but they cannot process it, they do not understand it, the communication circle is not complete. So this is why I'm saying that open and honest communication is highly essential. So client success associates should develop efficient channels for direct communications with clients, ensuring prompt issue resolution and timely updates. Consistent communication fosters trust, maintains transparency for commitments to your clients. So the third point that I highlighted here is to define roles and responsibilities. So this is very essential because in client management, it is important to treat each client as a unique individual rather than just another case. This is to make sure that this is to help clients understand that you completely um, understand their business needs. You have them in mind at every point, and you are willing to drive the success of whatever project you are working on with them. By personalizing client experiences, businesses can foster a sense of exclusivity and show genuine appreciation for clients. Tailored solutions, customized services, and individualized offerings contribute to a positive client experience, ultimately driving long-term loyalty. Another point is that you have to be able to manage risks and challenges, promptly addressing inquiries and efficiently resolving issues, and effectively managing client expectations, being proactive are crucial for building a strong brand reputation and client loyalty, like I mentioned earlier. So by consistently delivering expectations, businesses can separate themselves from their competitors and turn clients into brand advocates, like I mentioned earlier. Adopting a strategy of under-promising and over-delivering reinforces this commitment, because this way the clients are not expecting too much, and then when you deliver, you can over-deliver, which makes them, oh wow, you know, it makes them want to come back. It makes them want to repeatedly patronize your business. It makes them want to refer other businesses to your services. So the last point is to seek feedback and to drive improvement. So I already spoke about CSAT, customer satisfaction, previously. So client management is a very dynamic process that requires ongoing evaluation and refinement. Businesses should regularly assess customer satisfaction, collect feedback, and identify areas for improvement. You know, like I said, that the feedback that you get from client surveys and customer and CSAT is what would enable you as a business identify areas for improvement, implement key performance, identify areas for improvement as a business, and then implementing key performance indicators, KPIs, provide both your team, your internal team, and clients with measurable metrics, measurable results. They can pinpoint that, oh, this is what we got from this partnership. By continuously monitoring the health of client relationships, organizations can proactively address strategies and adapt strategies to better meet clients' evolving needs. So this brings us to internal project drivers and stakeholders for cross-functional collaboration. We have the business development team. We have the talent acquisition / the recruitment support team. We have the learning and development unit / the background verification units. Then we have the legal team. So let's discuss the business cross-functional collaboration with the business development unit. As a client success associate, you are going to have to do a lot of teamwork and a lot of collaborating with external stakeholders to, you know, drive success of any project they are working on with clients externally. You know, these are the people that you work with to be able to deliver, to successfully deliver on your project with clients. So first off, we have the business development team. Usually the business development team is the team that sources for, you know, clients and tries to, you know, onboard them and make them patronize whatever product and service that we have to offer. The client success team collaborates with the business development team whenever they have a prospective new client or lead. They collaborate with them to onboard the clients and to fill any of the HR consulting services that the client may require. For the talent acquisition / recruitment support team, the client success service team, the client success team collaborates with the talent acquisition and recruitment support team to drive the success of the recruitment project, to make sure that the talent acquisition team is using the right sourcing strategy that fits the job description that the client has shared, to make sure that we source for the right candidate, right, and deliver exceptionally well on the recruitment projects that the clients may have. they sit in with the recruitment support team to work on competency-based assessments to assess the quality of the candidates that we'll be sharing with the clients. This is to make sure that we are delivering exceptionally well on our recruitment project. For the learning and development unit and the background verification unit, the client success team collaborates with the background verification unit to ensure that projects are delivered efficiently, timely, and specifically tailored to clients' needs. For the legal team, the client success team collaborates with the legal unit for contract renewals, for documentations. They ensure timely communication to the team on expired contracts. This is when we are having maybe repeat businesses with the client. And if, for instance, that client, the tenure of our previous contract with them has expired, it is the job of the client success associates to inform the legal team so that a new SLA, a new contract can be drafted and shared with the clients, So they ensure timely communication to the team on expired contracts and engage clients at every touch point to ensure that all information is duly updated. Sorry, can anybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Okay, 1 second, my screen got frozen. I don't know why I can't move to the next slide, please. Yes, so this brings us to the end of this presentation. Thank you very much for tuning in, for listening. I don't know if anybody would have questions, ideas, suggestions that you would like to share.
Thank you so much for your presentation, ladies and gentlemen. Let's show some appreciation to our facilitator for tonight. If you have comments, contributions, or questions for her or for us, kindly raise your hand so that we can enable you speak. And if you prefer to drop a message in the chat box, we'll be glad to also take it. Do you have any questions? Do you have any suggestion? Or you want to share an experience around this subject, this topic? I'm checking the chat box. I'm also checking to see if there are any hands. Oh, fantastic. I was planning to call you actually, but I didn't need to. Thank you for volunteering. You can speak, Madam Rita Babala.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for the opportunity. In fact, at this point, I should say you knew what was on my mind. This is a period of strategy for me. So having Opeyemi Abdul, in fact, I was still going to ask Mr. Dioshun your contact, so I could also reach out to you later. But be that as it may, thank you for bringing up this particular topic. So my question is this. I'm believing she's been doing this for long. Like, this is typically typified for those in consulting, what she has, brought out with her consulting background. So I look at the way that the team have been segmented. If the various teams work a certain period of time, is there always this meeting point where it gets to reach a particular tenure or a particular period where you miss, instead of the recruitment team now, I think, they have recruitment. I think I saw learning and development. Yeah. So at what point in time does the organization decide to change it and say this other team should move to this other one, so that there is always a cross-functional learning experience and one does not typically stay in one learning point only? Because if you work in recruitment and the recruitment is what you do for like almost a year, 2 years, and they don't move you around, what happens? Is there a meeting point where they get to do other things aside being known for this particular team structure that they have. Thank you.
You can respond, Okoyemi.
All right, Dr. Oluyemi, do you want to take that or do you want me to answer that?
The question is for you. Please
Sir,
respond.
I didn't get that, sir.
The question is for you. Kindly respond, please.
All right, thank you very much. Sorry, I didn't catch your name. So basically, for the organization where I work, I don't know if this applies generally in the HR consulting industry, but from my own experience, yes, we do move like roles and positions internally so that at least to fit into everybody's career aspirations, career projections, and so that you can get experience of the entire consulting space, so that you can have experience in recruitment, so that you can have experience in outsourcing, so that you can have experience. I think that depends on what you want to do in your career. So for someone like me that has experience, that has over time built experience in customer relationship management, client management, and that is looking to build its my career as a seasoned HR professional, I'm looking towards becoming a seasoned human resource business partner, right? And I've spoken about client success being strategic. I'm trying to merge my experience over time with collaborating with other units into my career goals, into my career aspirations, which has been duly communicated to everybody where I work. And so once there is an open position for me to get like cross-functional experience across other units in the consulting space where I work, my boss and the management team in my office, they are open to that, just so that everybody gets to do what they want and grow in their own space. At the same time, we have specialists that, we have talent acquisition specialists, verification specialists, we have learning and development specialists, we have business development specialists. Why I specifically mentioned that they are specialists is that this is what they do, this is what they have been doing, this is where they want to be, right? What they can do is to just grow and maybe become a team lead, maybe become more specialized in their role, right? So, I'm sorry, my network is a bit shaky.
We can hear you, please. We can hear you.
Yes, as I was saying, so I said this is what they specialize in, you know. So in as much as we have people that are willing to navigate other units just to get enough experience across the entire consulting space, we also have people that they do. I don't know. I hope that answers your questions. If it does, please let me know. And if it does not, maybe Dr. Oluyemi can shed more light on the question that you asked. Thank you.
Okay, but you didn't answer the other part of it, which is for how long does this specialization bit of segmentation take place? No, that's another part. Then I also wanted to ask, is there a difference between the client service job role and the business development job role? Because if I look at the presentation you did, I'm seeing that there is a kind of, it's a subset of one another. Do we need to separate business development from a client service success associate?
So I didn't quite get your first question. I'm going to ask you to rephrase that. But for the second part, I think I understood.
Okay, so Mr. Bioshua has unmuted me. Can you hear me now? I think your line is frozen. Can you hear me?
Those are a bit intertwined as clients, as I mentioned earlier, that as a client success associate, you're also an HR consultant, and you're collaborating with all the units in the organization, right? In as much as you're collaborating with all these units, your role is still very your role basically is to engage clients. Do you understand? With the business development specialists are still needed because their role is to source for clients. Their role is to onboard clients. Their role is to generate revenue for the organization by bringing in new clients and selling our products and services to them. So the client success associate cannot take up that role, cannot take that role away from them, because in as much as they are intertwined, they're also two separate roles. Do you understand? I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yes, I get it. I get it now, the way you're explaining it.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So do you want to
the
take
other
your first
question
again?
Yeah, the other question which I was saying is this. You've done the segment. Oh, sorry, I hope I'm not taking, let another person ask questions, really. Let me not take kind of everything.
Go ahead. Ask all the questions now. Please,
Okay.
continue.
So I'm just also
Yes,
trying
it's
to
fine.
draw them out so that people can ask questions. Okay, because I'm in consulting anyway, and the consulting I'm doing is the only consulting I've ever known. I've not seen like other people like that. Okay, so I'm saying now that you segmented them into different in terms of job profiling, which is what you have done. At what point do you know it's good enough to start moving people around the team? Like for my organization now, we do organizational development, which is not listed in what you have here. We do outsourcing. We do the general one, which is the recruitment and learning and development. But there are other segments of HR that are not listed here. So I want to know that at what point do you now move people around? When do you know exactly, oh, Rita is in recruitment and talent acquisition and talent acquisition. Oh, Olumide is in learning and development. I've worked there for 1 year. Another person I've worked there for like 18 months. At what point do you know who is to be moved around or shuffled to another segment instead of just sitting down there waiting to build specialization in one particular element of HR? Do you get it now? Hello? Opeyemi, do you get it?
It's like
Sorry, I can no longer hear you.
But did you get the gist of our question? Did you get the question?
I think it's network.
Hello, Opeyemi, did you get part of our question? Because I heard you clearly, ma'am.
So I have the level of experience to answer this question, in the sense that I'm not at the management level internally to make decisions on when and where people need to be moved to, and when, at what point in time do we need to move people so that they can get.
It's like our network is frozen. It's freezing.
Take on that question.
You are muted, Opeyemi.
Did you hear what I said?
No. You said something around maybe your level, your cadre is not yet at management or something like that.
Yes, I said so. My level of experience, my job level is not at the management level for me to be able to say that I know where people should be moved, where they should be moved to, so that they can get professional experience across the HR consulting space. So I said I'm not at the management level, so I cannot say that I have enough information as to answer that question. So I said I don't know if Dr. Oluyemi would like to take on that question.
Okay, thank you so much, Opeyemi. Today, I'm not answering questions. In fact, I have questions to ask. Okay, but just answer to the best of your ability. It's okay. So I've dropped 5 questions for you in the chat. It's because of your network. I'll drop another 5. You don't have to answer all the 5. So anyone you want to answer, read the question and respond.
Okay, that's fine.
Yes, okay, sorry, Opeyemi. Sorry.
Yes,
we're also learning here. So you still need to address that question. We're also learning here. So we need to, then I want to add one more question to the question you've asked again, so that we can let me put it in the box. There is always something I always find out, and very interesting. I don't know if Opeyemi has observed it, maybe because I'm in consulting. There is always a difference between a sitting HR and a consulting HR professional. The work of an HR, if somebody is moving from a sitting HR, like we always use that slang in my workplace, transiting from where you are the HR professional, sit in an organization, and transitioning into the HR consulting role is always challenging for most HR professionals. So I want to know, why is it always an issue all the time? Sitting versus consulting HR. Where is there always that dichotomy? You will know that there's a difference in the way and manner they relate to people, they relate to work. Thank you.
Okay. So from my experience, I feel like the difference in the approach that sitting HRs and HR consultants in the workplace in a specific organization operate, or their manner of approach is so internally, HRs that are sitting in on their HR, they are not consultants, they are HRs of the organization. Their job is to manage the entire employee experience. Their clients are the internal employees of the organization, right? So I think that they're already working to make sure that the employees are well taken care of, they are managed effectively, they are doing their job, they have the resources to do their job. I think the difference is the fact that in consulting, the HR consultants are liaising with external employees. They are managing external clients. So their approach may be different, because they know that if they don't manage the clients well, they will not come back. They will not refer the business. They can choose not to patronize you anymore. They can choose to decline the contract. You know, I feel like that's the difference in their manner of approach. I don't know if that answers your question.
Thank you for your response. So the final set of questions, again, pick the ones you want to respond to.
All right, so
while you are checking the questions and the ones you would like to respond to, what I will say is that with respect to last question by Madam Rita Babalola, there is a mindset required to be an internal HR. And then there's another mindset required to be an external HR or consultant. However, there's also an hybrid or overlap mindset. So even if you are internal HR, you must have a consulting mindset. That's the best way to be able to, one, always identify issues, challenges, opportunities, and also map out solutions and link it to the business strategy. If you are also an external HR, one of the things that happen to some, emphasis, I'm choosing my words carefully now, some people are consultants who now transit to the industries that, and I'm saying this very respectfully, I'm a HR generalist, so I'm for everybody, is that consulting generally over time depends on what we call templates. Now, templates are like models. When you now come, in quotes, to the industry or to an organization, you now find yourself in a real world. Not that consulting is not a real world, but in an alternate world. And each organization is an alternate reality. So the degree of alignment to the templates would differ based on ownership, management style, funding, resources, everything. Sometimes from this pedestal of the consultant, all things are possible. There are no restrictions. We can do best practice. But the reality for the HR now can be CFO is refusing to release money, or the MD, who is the owner manager, is saying, "Mba, we are not doing it." So if you have now stayed long on either divide, you are either used to some close to utopian setting, or you are used to close to some dysfunctional setting. When you now switch, it takes a mental, psychological reorientation and adjustment. And some people just don't get it. And so they quickly run back to, so to speak, wherever their comfort zone is. Now, for someone like me, one of the reasons why I'm able to play is because I've worked in many organizations, 11 to be precise. So that almost means that I'm actually a consultant outsourcing my services to different firms. But if I stayed in one place for 16 years, that thing will just put you in a box of some sort. Even though that doesn't mean you'll be restricted, because even in the same organization, you change management, you change ownership, the environment is changing, and things are dynamic and evolving. But it's good to identify your niche and stay there, but there are also crossover practitioners and professionals, so that don't force it. If it doesn't work, excel somewhere, or if you have to transit, but adjust your mindset. What brought you in may not retain you. All right. I think, Okwemi, you've had time to peruse my questions and you have chosen. So read the question and answer. The people didn't see the question. I sent it to only you.
Oh, oh my God.
Just pick
Okay.
the first one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Let me start with the first one. So this question says that what do you find to be the biggest challenge in managing client relationships in HR consulting? So yeah, I think that the biggest challenge that I find is when there is no, what's the word now? When the communication gap is coming from the end of the client, right? What I mean by this is, say for instance, we are filling a recruitment need for a client, for a project. We are feeling maybe they have shared some JDs with us for a role that they are looking to fill. And for this project, we usually have like a turnaround time, from the point of which the contract is signed, the job description is shared, the onboarding process, Once the contract is signed, the job description is shared, the SLA starts running. At the period at which the SLA starts running, as the client success associate, I'm making sure that the talent acquisition team and the recruitment support team, the talent acquisition team, first off, they are sourcing for the right candidates, using the right sourcing strategy to make sure that we find candidates that suits the profile of what the client wants according to their job description. Once this candidates are, or once we source for these candidates, I'm following up with the recruitment support team to make sure that we're doing competency-based assessments to make sure that the candidates are up to par with client's needs. At the same time, communicating with the client at every touch point to engage them and to let them know that we are working on these roles, we'll share profiles and all of that. And at the point at which we have done competency-based assessments with the recruitment support team, we have selected the recruitment support team shares profiles of those shortlisted candidates. And as the client's success associate, I share the profiles with the clients, At that point, you want to reach out to the client to make sure, we share profiles with you. Have you received the profiles? Let us know which of the candidates you're interested in, when you would like to meet them, when can we have an interview scheduled, Okay, let's say sometimes, it takes a while. After the mail has been sent, some clients would not acknowledge the mail, and that's when you put the follow-up call through. Even the follow-up call, you would call some clients for days and you just wouldn't be able to get through to them, And eventually, when you do get through to them, their internal processes might be very cumbersome in the sense that they might have to get approvals, they might want their MDs to look at the profiles, to select candidates that they would like to meet. Eventually, when they get around to it, the period of the recruitment that is not supposed to take long, because from our own hand internally we've done our own parts, right? It's already there's already a pace. It's already dragging not because we are not doing what is expected of us, but it's already dragging from the end of the client, right? And as the client success associate, management is asking you, okay, what is going on? Why have we not closed this role? Why have the clients not met with this candidate? At the same time, they are trying to reach out to the client. Oh, okay, when would you like to see this candidate? Okay, they finally select an interview date. And at the point of the interview dates, the interview has been scheduled, the recruitment support team has contacted the candidates to let them know, oh, the client would like to meet you at so date at their office at so place, or the client would like you to have an interview with you virtually. And then maybe for some reason, some of the candidates will not show up for that interview, and even after those candidates show up, you now start chasing after the clients to get their feedback on the interview, getting them to select the candidates that they want to proceed to the next level, to the second stage of the interview. After the whole interviews has been done, you want to know what candidate have you selected, what candidates suit your profile. Out of the profiles that we shared, which candidate have you shortlisted that you are moving along with, and they have shown interest in maybe a particular candidate, and they are extending an offer to the candidate, even to get some clients to extend an offer. They want to do internal processes, make sure they meet with their stakeholders to make sure that everybody on the panel is fine with that client. Okay, now they want to negotiate an offer. This is how much they are willing to pay for the role, right? They want to engage the candidates to know that, oh, okay, this is the amount that this client is willing to pay. Are you okay? There's back and forth. And the communication, you are as the client success associate, you are trying to make sure that there's no communication gap, there's no loophole in the entire circle, And sometimes you, even in as much as you're trying to be on your feet, you do not have control over these things, because you can only control what you can control. You cannot control the efficiency of other people. You cannot control the efficiency of the client or the candidate. You cannot control the internal processes of the client. All you can do is to reach out, to request for feedback, to constantly engage them in order to improve this field. So I think this is the biggest challenge that I experience in managing client relationships. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you.
I think I'll skip this one.
Good.
The third one, how do you typically assess a new client's need and expectations at the start of a project? Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, at the start of the project, right, once the business development team onboards the clients from the point of them having a new lead, right, they would thoroughly engage. As a client success associate, you're supposed to be sitting in on every meeting, every engagement that has to do with clients. Anything that has to do with clients in HR consulting, as a client success associate, is your business, because you're the one that is sitting in on clients. You have to know the information regarding every client in the client database at every point in time, right? So from the point of the business development guys having a new lead, trying to onboard the client, at the onboarding meeting, you should be at the meeting where they are discussing the contracts that the client is going into with the organization. You should be at the meeting so that you can have a full understanding of the business needs of the client, because it's when you have the understanding of these business needs that you can say you want to drive the successful delivery of whatever project you're embarking on from the partnership. Right? If you don't have an understanding of their requirements, their business requirements, what are you doing? Right? So you assess the new client's needs and expectations at the start of the project by making sure that you are sitting in on every meeting, trying to understand their expectations, and make sure that you completely and thoroughly understand them, explain your product and services to them, and try to understand their own needs, their vision, and what they intend to gain out of this partnership. It is when you fully understand each other's point of view, that is when you can manage their expectations as well. And that is how you can foresee the expectations that they may have during the course of the project. I hope that answers your question.
Absolutely.
What methods have you found effective for communicating? I need to skip this one. Complex HR concept to clients. They not have a strong HR background. What methods have you found effective for communicating? Okay, so I don't necessarily understand what you mean by communicating complex HR concept. Okay. How do you balance meeting client demands with ethical standards in HR consulting?
Down, a very good question.
Yes, actually, that's what I'm trying to answer it. So, how do I balance meeting clients' demands with maintaining ethical standards in HR consulting? So, as an HR consultant, right, you want to make sure that as the client success associate, I mentioned that you're also an HR consultant in the sense that you understand the ethical practices and the ethical standards that are involved in human resources, right? This is to enable you advise your clients when they want to do this here. Oh, let's not do this, let's do it this way. It is more appropriate, it is more ethical to do this instead. For instance, this last protest that was supposed to happen, I think on August 1st on a Thursday, we had a client who was supposed to meet with a candidate, a shortlisted candidate for the final interview with their CEO, and they wanted the meeting to be physical, and it was scheduled. It was they intended for the meeting to be scheduled on Thursday, the day of the protest, and we had to, liaise with the clients to make them understand that no, this is not right, because um, it doesn't portray your organization in a good light ethically, because you don't want to endanger the life of a prospective employee just because you have an urgent need to fill a role. So as an HR consultant, I think that those are the requirements that you have. Those are the things that are required of you. Those are the knowledge that you should have. You should be able to advise your clients on best practices in human resources. I hope that answers your question. Are these the same questions? Or
no, they are not. They are another set. The final set.
I hope so. Okay. What strategies do you use to manage client expectations throughout the project? I don't know. I think I already mentioned the strategies in my
Yes, you have done that.
Okay, so I hope that the person that is answering asking the question can go through the slides. But just to circle back on it, you will manage your client's expectations by making sure that there are no communication gaps from every touch point, from the point of onboarding to the point of sharing contracts, the point of understanding their business needs, to the point of engaging internal stakeholders and project drivers to fill their recruitment or business needs, to the point of executing those business needs to drive the successful delivery of projects. I hope that you can go through the slides to have a more thorough understanding of the answers to the question. So I'm going to move to the next question. Can anyone share an experience where they had to deliver tough news or negative feedback to a client? How did you handle it? Okay, I don't know, I wouldn't exactly call it tough news, but I mean, it can be a negative feedback, right? Recently, actually last week, Friday, I had a physical client meeting, and this particular client had been engaging us previously to fill an urgent recruitment need for them, right? We had checked profiles, they had engaged the shortlisted candidates, and they were interested in one candidate. They were even at the point of extending an offer to the candidates, right? But they were, what's the word now? They were taking time to extend an offer to the candidates, right? And at the point of re-engaging the candidates and doing like competency-based assessment, we focus on the quality of hires, right? And so we try to, in as much as we focus on the quality of the hires and try to make sure that we have the necessary requirements, we also try to engage them to know if they are in talks with other organizations, to, to get a new role, or to, as they are talking to us, engaging us to, for us to fill the role for our clients. And they also engaging other organizations as well, just to know how to communicate to our clients, because it is our duty to communicate that to our clients. So at every touch point in time, let them know of the candidates' availability and interest in the role, right? So this particular candidate did not communicate to us that they were engaging um, other organizations as well. So at the point at which our client was willing to extend an offer, the client and the candidate declined the offer, and the clients had an urgent need for the role to fill. And they had gone through all the interview stages, the assessment stage, and they just felt like, oh, once they extend an offer, this guy would accept it and he would just have him do pre-employment checks and resume immediately. And then the candidate just declined the nothing we could do about it. We tried to negotiate, try to persuade him, but things happen. Things like this happen, and sometimes you just have no control over it. So, as the client success associate, what I did to communicate the negative feedback to the client was basically I let them understand that we always have their best interest at heart and we focus on the quality of hires that we give. But at the same time, we try not to pace and stretch out the interview process and the interview process and the assessment stages, because we all know how the economy is. Nobody wants to stay open or idle for a long period of time, and this is why we try to engage our candidates to let them know if they are expressing their interest in other organizations as well. And this is just an unforeseeable circumstance because this particular candidate did not communicates to us, in as much as the, um, the error was not from us. I made sure that I sincerely apologized on behalf of my organization and identified with the client what they need to do better and what we need to do better as well. And then what we did internally was we worked with our talent acquisition team, our recruitment support team, to source for new profiles for the clients and share with them so that we can start the recruitment process again. I hope that answers your question. How do you approach upselling or cross-selling additional services to existing clients without damaging the relationship? So this is something that I currently, I won't say struggle with, but with upselling and cross-selling, you need to do it because you need to generate revenue. And I just feel like there's no hard feelings. They either want to buy the new service or they don't, right? So I mean, there's nothing to lose you selling or selling additional services. You just have to know when to engage your clients, when to impute, when to show it to them that, oh, we also have this service, you have, it can be at the point of you have successfully delivered on their role, it can be at the point of you have successfully delivered on their background verification process. Oh, do you have a knowledge gap or a skill gap? Or okay, these candidates that we just repeated for you, you need to do pre-employment checks on them because we have background verification specialists. I think you just need to know when to engage them and when to upsell and cross-sell. And I feel like you can do that without damaging the relationship if you use emotional intelligence, which is one of the skills that you need to have as a client success associate. I hope that answers your question. What techniques do you use to ensure client satisfaction and gather feedback through the project? So, well, in my experience, what we do is we use client surveys, we use client feedback forms, we use CSAT to ascertain the level of satisfaction that the client has with the product and the service that we've offered. How do they feel about our service? What do they think we could have done better? Sometimes we do follow-up calls, just to get a feel of how they feel regarding the service that we just offered. And we send client surveys and feedback forms to have it official and recorded so that we can use it as feedback for improvements internally. How do you handle situations where the client desires conflict with best practices in HR? Personally, for me, I feel like what you can do as the HR consultant is to advise them on what to do. They can either leave it or take it. If and leaving it, right, you want to disengage so as not to put a dent on your own brand. I mean, after you advise them, let's do it this way, and they don't want to do it this way. Oh, for ethical standards, I will not be able to proceed. We can partner with you on the other projects, but for this particular project, we wouldn't be able to do it this way because we cannot compromise on our quality because we're trying to satisfy you as a client in as much as your satisfaction is our priority. We would like you to be open-minded towards doing it in a way that is of ethical standard. But if you would like to proceed to do it this way, then I hope you get the best out of it for them to proceed with you on this project at this time. That answers your question.
Thank you so much, Opeyemi. Abdul, you have done a yeoman's job by providing us with information, education. I must say it's not all consultants that like to, so to speak, share some of their strategies, techniques, tactics with which they use to manage clients and with which they use to. Thank you for your largeness of heart. Who want to share, who are generous, don't wait until they have it all together. No matter your level of experience and exposure, there are insights you have that will benefit many people as of today. Don't wait until you become the numero uno of HR before you share your knowledge. And I appreciate that when we reach out an open call, you and you give us the topic, and we have all learned, we've all gained tremendously. I think I would like to read some of the contributions so that some people who are not reading the comment and just listening only don't also miss out on this, and then for the benefit of people who watch the recorded version on YouTube. And I think this is speaking HR consultant transiting to industry and HR in industry transiting to HR, so that as I read the following responses, we can link to what they are speaking to. So my brother here, Ibrahim Aliyu, says, I think one of the reasons is that sitting HR is more concerned about the employee's experience. While the consulting people are more focused on a particular HR value check. Thank you, Ibrahim, for that. Steven says, adding to what she has said, as a consulting HR, you will have to adjust your mentality to their behaviors, okay, to understand them, okay. Steven also says, you also have to upskill to understand different sectors or industry you are used to as a sitting HR. Fantastic. So most of the time, the HR in consulting is probably managing multi-sectoral scenarios and situation. And of course, that comes with its own dynamics as well. I also see a lot of people showing their gratitude and appreciation to our facilitator tonight. I've unmuted everyone. This is the point where we say thank you. And we also say good night. So I'd like to say thank you. Feel free to unmute. Let's appreciate our amiable, delectable facilitator, Opeyemi Abdul, our facilitator. All you need to do is just to unmute. Okay. It's like everybody's on strike, or people don't want to do voice. So Ibrahim Aliyu says, thank you so much, Opeyemi. I guess some people are joining this session from the library, so they don't want to make
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We appreciate you.
You're welcome.